Back, dear viewers, and you are still watching The Breakfast Show, and in this segment of our program we will talk about Egypt International Cooperation Forum, the ICF, Engaging for Impact, which is due to be inaugurated on the 8th of September, over 2 days, under the patronage of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, with high-level international and regional participation. The forum is bringing together the global community to streamline efforts to ensure a better tomorrow and to identify parameters of sustainable recovery. And to know more about the importance of this forum, we are joined over the phone by Dr. Sahar Nazmi. She is Professor of Economics at the Canadian University. Good morning, Dr. Sahar.
Good morning to you.
So, Dr. Sahar, can you tell us more about this forum and its importance, especially that it is held under the patronage of the President with the participation of many international organizations?
Egypt is becoming the heart of the continent. Egypt is becoming a leader in initiating all initiatives towards development and sustaining communities' well-being. I'm not surprised to see Egypt is calling for that meeting and inviting international entities as well as African entities to brainstorm and to sit around the table, explore ideas, exchange opinions, and see how can we all add value to our communities in terms of international cooperation.
So, Dr. Sahar, also, what in your opinion is the significance of the participation of many international and regional financial institutions in the forum, as well as research centers and civil society organizations?
When it comes to projects, when it comes to development and improving communities' life, we're talking about big money.
Yes.
Money and funds that cannot an individual entity or private sector can afford it. The inclusion of financial institutions to be there, listen and see how can they contribute financially and how can they fine-tune ideas on the table for the different communities will definitely add a value and make things happen on the short term.
So, Dr. Sahar, also, if we talk about the role of private sector in supporting development endeavors and stimulating the development role, especially in the wake of corona pandemic, and the role of multilateral partnerships in the post-COVID-19 reconstruction efforts. So, tell us more about the role of private sector in the coming stage.
Private sector has been very active, responsible and in charge of different aspects of our economy.
Yes.
And this responsibility will remain the foothold and the base for private sector companies to provide the support in terms of their manpower, their systems, their finance, their projects across different communities, be it in Egypt or in any part of Africa. Private sector are active. They are after introducing ideas and projects to come up with a profitable formula for the community and for their money as well. This is a very fair play game, I believe. We're looking into happy investors, satisfied investors around us, so we can see our community flourishing more and more.
Yes, Dr. Sahar, also, if we talk about how important is this forum in supporting sustainable development efforts in the countries of the African continent, as it is the strategic depth of Egypt, and also we have African institutions participating in this forum.
It is reflecting, first of all, that they believe in our strategy of the 2030 Egypt has been serious, straightforward when they set forward the strategy towards 2030. Sustainable development, they see it happening on the ground in Egypt.
Yes.
So there is confidence and trust coming from different communities or African companies, African countries, as well as African financial institutions. Sustainable development is vital because it will serve generations for years and years. A 2-year, a 3-year plan or development will not survive to help coming generations. Therefore, I see a lot of trust and confidence in Egypt's strategy of 2030. They trust that we are doing our best in sustaining the development, and they can see things happening on the ground that encourage them to participate and sit under one roof to see how can they benefit from our sustainable development strategy and programs.
So, Dr. Sahar, if we talk about the challenges facing development efforts globally as the risks of climate change, to what extent this threat is hindering developments in different countries, as it is expected also these risks to be tackled in the forum?
Well, definitely finance is being absorbed. All the financial resources required to maintain and sustain the development of communities. Now, with the threat of the climate, it's absorbing a lot of resources, time and money required for a better or more for developing the communities. However, I'm sure the international world will have a look back to their expenditures, to their budgets, and see how can they maneuver around it so that they can allocate proper funds for the climate change to work around it and for the sustainable development for their countries.
Also, Dr. Sahar, if we talk about the importance of supporting youth and women to achieve Egypt's 2030 strategy, how can we empower them in the coming stage to be part of Egypt's strategy 2030 and sustainable development agenda?
Well, what has been happening for years now, over than 6 years, the word woman has been magic to the political agenda. It came on top of their priorities. The president himself has been praising the role of women, the importance of women. It's 50% of the community. If you teach a woman, you're teaching a whole generation.
Yes.
If you teach a man, you don't go anywhere. So our president believes in the input of women to their communities, to their families, and I'm sure he will reap a lot, or the strategy of development will reap a lot out of the involvement of women in terms of empowering, supporting, teaching her, giving her the proper health and education. I cannot say more after all the efforts that we have witnessed for women in terms of her legal, again, her legal rights, her role at home, her relation with her husband, and being a part of the family and being in charge of the family. When we come to youth, again, I see a lot of effort has been there. They have been put in place. The Youth Forum every year reminds us and crystallized the idea that these are the leaders of tomorrow. The president and his administrative are working hard to prepare those youths towards leading the country in the coming years, preparing them for the responsibility, providing the education, the financial facility for youth who got projects, for women who have projects to improve their economic life. These 2 points are crucial parts and components of the sustainable development. If you develop the community without giving a lot of attention to 50% of the population and their problems, and over 35% of your operation are youth, are young.
Yes.
Egypt has young generations. Egypt is not like any other country worldwide. We have a young generation. But these 2 components are important and vital to kick off their needs, their wishes, put it on paper and make it happen so that we can say, yes, we have a strategic, sustainable development plan.
Yes, Dr. Sahar, also the Minister of International Cooperation, Rania Al-Mashat, said the forum marks Egypt's first international cooperation and development financing forum. To what extent this reflects the country's leading role in international cooperation amid global and regional stakeholders, especially after the success of its economic reform agenda?
Well, it's all about trust. It's all about confidence. When you move towards doing any plan in any country, any international entity, they will look into your stability as a community, stability yes. as an economy, political status, the overall achievement of the country. Without having those elements within a positive context or parameters, none of those international financial institutions would move a bit towards the country or towards attending the forum. But seeing things happening, seeing economic reforms taking place, and the population is digesting all difficulties they are facing with their political leadership, understanding the challenges and overcoming all difficulties in terms of the hard and very tough economic reforms that took place like 7 years ago.
Yes. Yes.
All of this is summed up in 2 words. We trust Egypt, we trust their leadership, and we're confident they can do it, and we can be there on their table to help and support so that things would happen faster and easier.
Yes. So finally, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Sahar Nazmi, Professor of Economics at the Canadian University. Thank you, Dr. Sahar, for being with us. And the viewers, short break, and we'll be back with our second segment for today, so stay tuned.